Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to return to ELP by request. We're going to take a look at a live version of Tarkus. And this actually appears on their live album. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Now, this is a 27-minute version of a sidelong piece. It came out in 1971, and it was one of the first sidelong pieces in rock and roll. Not the first. Of course, there was Pink Floyd, Atom Heart Mother. But this came before Close to the Edge, or say Supper's Ready. It describes the story of a war machine called Tarkus, which is a mixture between an armadillo and a tank, as depicted here on the cover. The name is spelled out in bones, because I guess it's about 4 different wars, it says here. This creature emerges from an egg that is beside a volcanic crater that is making an eruption, then a cybernetic creature that looks like a futuristic station. This creature is destroyed by Tarkus's turrets. So, after that comes a creature called Iconoclast, that is a mixture between pterodactyl, which is a flying dinosaur, and a war airplane. So, right in character. This creature battles but can't compare to Tarkus and loses the battle. Now, I believe there's 4 different battles that happen, and they're all depicted in the gatefold here. It's quite a lot. I don't think we're going to go through every bit of the story. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to leave it at about that, and just know that there's essentially 4 different parts of this thing. It does say just Keith Emerson poured through Greek mythology looking for a name for the song, couldn't find anything. The inspiration struck when the word Tarkus popped into his head when the band was driving back from a gig. So it's their own creation, apparently. There's no actual mythology involved, but it's pretty cool anyway. And this is, by the way, their second album, I believe. It's June of '71, so they'd already had, the eponymous one come before it with the dove and the skulls on the cover, or not really a skull, but the profile of a strange head. So I have never listened to the live album, and it's actually the big live album that they did while they were a band. It would be like their Led Zeppelin song Remains the Same or something like that. So I look forward to hearing it. This is audio only, so I'm going to try to put words up in about the approximate spots where they belong as it goes back, and maybe some pictures too as well as we go. So Adrian, I would assume just from past discussions that you probably don't have much experience with Tarkus. Is that true?
What I know about ELP is kind of limited to brain salad surgery.
All right. I actually just got this recently. I bought this secondhand. When we started doing ELP, I decided to go take a look around and got this. I don't think it's original, but it's pretty old. Comes from the 70s for sure, and it still plays very nicely. Why don't we just go ahead and start taking a look at this? And it's okay to give your thoughts, as we're going through. In fact, I might even put the lyrics up kind of on the side if I can. Okay? Sound good? All right, here we go. These times are for the album, not this. rapidly changing time signatures.
Everything I like about brain salad surgery is in here.
There's probably things you'll like in this too for that reason. I'll bet. This whole part's called Interruption, taking us into Stones of Years.
Has the dawn ever seen your eyes? Have the days made you so unwise? Realize you are. Had you talked to the winds of time, then you'd know how the waters rhyme. Taste of wine, how can you know where you've been in time? You're gonna see the sign and realize your sin. 'Cause I know where you've been.
It occurs to me that lake part reminds me of a Charlie Parker song, a really famous one. I can't remember the name. I'm gonna have to dig it up later. It felt like an homage. This thing is serious. For the time being, it's in C. Five, four. This is Iconoclast, which may be one of the battles. This has to be mass.
The preacher said a prayer, save every single hair on his head. He's dead. The minister of hate, just your right to live to despair. Who cared? The weaver in the web that he made. A pilgrim wandered in, committing every sin that he could. So good, the cotton of the Greek, who set him to believe he'd be saved from the grave. The weaver in the web that he made.
Very nice. He uses modes, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. See that? It's got every section on there. Can't see it, but it's nice.
Yep.
A pilgrim wandered in, committing every sin that he could. So good, the cotton of the Greek, who set him to believe he'd be saved from the grave, the weaver in the web that he made. The bishop rings a bell, a globe of darkness let it rust around. Without a sound, silent choirs sing, in their silence legion its sound. Harmonic ground, weaver in the web that he made.
Looks like he sung the wrong verse for verse 8.
Yeah.
Oh well,
I noticed that.
I forgive him.
Mhm.
How embarrassing.
Clear the battlefield.
We'll come back.
Let me see.
barely see.
All right. That's all right.
The picture gets bigger.
I'll put one up later.
Were you there to watch the earth be scorched? Did you stand beside the spectral torch? Know the leaves of sorrow turn their face, scattered on the ashes of disgrace.
So apparently they had something that would blast foam at the audience during parts of the song. And it malfunctioned, was pointed the wrong way, and went right into Emerson's piano. And then to stop the show, he cleaned out his piano. I thought that was funny.
That's one way to add some entertainment to a show.
I bet his piano was very clean afterwards. Oh man.
I couldn't imagine that.
Every blade is sharp, the arrows fly. Where the victims of your armies lie. Where the blades of grass and arrows rain, then there'll be very little sorrow. Very little pain.
Okay.
Confusion will be my appetite
Oh, that sounds familiar.
as I grow.
Correct. And broken path. If we make it, we can all.
Sit back and laugh.
But I feel tomorrow we'll all be crying. No? Guess he didn't want that part in it. Nice little homage there.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a brief break,
All right.
talk about what we saw so far. As the rest of the piece, I believe, is going to be instrumental. So, and there's still another 12 minutes or so.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, God, I was remembering when I got the Brain Salad Surgery album. This was back in 1985, and I probably wouldn't have been too interested in this stuff back then. But now, like, I wonder why I missed everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands that I feel that way about. So you're not alone. Yeah, I had at least one friend trying to get me into Emerson, Lake and Palmer at the time, and I thought they were okay. I really liked Lucky Man, which means I wasn't really that deep into them, but they were pretty cool. And they played this album, not this album, but one of the Works albums, I think, at one point for us a little bit. Just always seems interesting, but I never quite, like I said, I got the first album, I got the debut, and then I got the best of, and that was pretty much it for a while. Then Trilogy, a couple of years after that, and that was cool because that had From the Beginning. I liked the Greg Lake folk stuff. And I had a lot of respect for Emerson's amazing piano playing and, of course, Palmer's drumming.
They're all great.
I remember with Emerson, he didn't really grab me as a player, even though I'm a piano player as well, because he was so classically oriented. And I am untrained, and I know maybe one or two little classical pieces, and that's it. Other than that, it's all been rock and roll and improv and playing by ear and having good pitch and being able to play in a band. But that's just a completely separate approach from, I mean, he had that part too, but the other stuff just kind of made it a little harder to latch onto. And there were other really great artists I wanted to hear anyway at the same time, so they kind of crowded my attention. But it's nice to come back and check this out again. Yeah, I've really come to like this album. I mean, the more I play it, I think that the story line that's in this particular song is a little bit on the obtuse side. Like, it's really not easy to tell what's going on from Greg Lake's lyrics, per se. You know, but they explain a little more about it, and they have that artwork, and, you know, there's been interviews and things, so we have a little bit more of an idea of what was really supposed to be going on. And so it's pretty cool. It's not something you think of every day, you know. An armored armadillo, you know, tank thing.
Gotta get more ELP records in the near future. You know, listen to what I've been missing. You know, I just thought it just blew me away just hearing that piece of music.
I'm enjoying hearing it live for the first time as well. So, all right, well, let's continue. And like I say, we can keep talking. It's all instrumental from this part on. So here we go. Sounds like a synthesizer with two oscillators, detuned by a step or something. So he's just using one finger at a time, but getting two tones. It's like...
Only a second part. For some reason, it sounds to me like it might be a subdominant or dominant group for, you know, people who know music or know what I'm talking about.
Could be. I love hearing these early synthesizers. For me, they bring nostalgia because they were around the household anyway. When we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
Arps and Moogs.
Yeah. And when they sounded like synthesizers before the 80s, they tried to make them sound like regular instruments, and they failed spectacularly at that.
At this time, you can almost still...
They're good.
Yeah, you can almost see the patch chords.
And this was when there was like another color on the palette.
Yeah.
Synthesizers.
And he must be playing with the knobs, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I hear the filters changing.
Yeah.
Basically EQ filter sweeps and things like that. It's a simple machine.
Yeah. A great way to keep it interesting, though. They keep changing the settings as you play. You gotta kind of know what you're doing, too.
He uses a Moog.
Okay, that's what I thought. I like the Carl Palmer parts.
Yeah. two keyboards at once,
Yep.
and he's got to keep his hands on them. So he's playing like this.
I'm not surprised somehow.
And he's still playing with the knobs. This feels like Santana Jingo.
Yeah. Feels to me like Carnival Line Part 2. Part of that.
Sure, why not? Why
There's a
not?
part in there where there's the jungle drums and just the keyboards going over it with the guys.
Well, this is the tour for that album. Just writing F here. Who's getting a little overexcited, getting ahead of Carl for a moment there. We're back. This kind of feels like a science fiction motif.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on at the time. They had like Space Odyssey and Land of the Giants and other weird stuff. Star Trek, of course.
Yeah.
So this writer says that Tarkus is a metaphor for the cycle of life and the importance of preserving and protecting the planet. And Tarkus is half animal, half machine. And it was fighting environmental destruction.
That's an important topic today.
Yep. There we go. Keep sliding between shuffle and 4-beat. sounds like Eruption again. Getting near the end.
I kept thinking of Carnival 9. I think the proper name of it is Second Impression of
Okay.
Carnival 9. Not Part 2, because First Impression is cut into 2 parts.
I got it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Part 2 might be the part of Carnival 9 I don't hear as often as the others. Is that right, you think?
Yeah, well, the most famous part of Carnival 9 is the First Impression Part 2, which is, welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends and all that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you don't hear as much of the second impression or third impression. The third impression is pretty impressive as well. It's second impression is instrumental. The third is the end of the saga, and it's got lyrics in it, of course.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we take a look at that piece sometime in the future, But that is interesting. It doesn't surprise me. It's only a couple of years apart. Maybe less, really, depending on what their timeline was for recording and between release and all that. So it was in their sweet spot. Mm-hmm. It seems to me that they put out 5 albums that were all pretty good all at once, ending with Carnival 9. And then after that, things maybe started to slip a little bit. They maybe still had a few things, but that's when Works came out. And, of course, this live album. Seems like they just dropped off for a while. Maybe out of sheer exhaustion. I'll bet you they were doing lots of touring. It's very nice to hear them in their prime playing this music. And I think I'd like to get a little bit more familiar with this song. So maybe I start playing this album even a whole lot more. And now that I can kind of break it up into 7 separate songs or pieces, kind of like what Genesis did with Supper's Ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
This was really fun. We appreciate the suggestion to do this, and I think we're going to end up doing more ELP in the future. If you have suggestions for us, you can leave those below. All right. And if you enjoyed this video, folks, please give it a like. If you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one, all right? Take care, folks.
See you all later.